He was
And that's the biggest thing.
And that's the biggest thing.
Get over that first hurdle, get past that first challenge.
Yes.
And then once you get involved, it gets easier and easier every single time.
Yeah. Hello world, my name is Noah Yao and I am excited to share my interview with Quickshot with you. So, funny story, the other day I was attending the EU LCS and watching some Heimerdinger battle in action, and for the first time I witnessed Quickshot casting in person. And it was fascinating seeing him in action and acting out all the things he says in creative ways that you wouldn't be able to experience on stream. And the thing is, he makes it look so easy. And I knew at that moment I needed to meet this guy in person. So I complimented him on his cast after the show and oh man, this guy is amazing. And I don't have any previous work to show for reference, but nonetheless, this guy agrees to meet up with me. So curious as I am about getting into the esports industry, I've asked him questions about the shoutcasting career so that you by this end of the video will be equipped with the knowledge of how to successfully enter the esports industry as a shoutcaster. So let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. My name is Noah Yao and I'm joined by Trevor Quickshot Henry. And we are right now in the Riot office headquarters. Now I know you have this video out called Caster Spotlight, you know, a Quickshot. And if you haven't watched it, watch it right now because you might want to know everything about it before we keep going. But basically, it used to be such a different time back then when you started.
It was.
Can you please describe how it was for you back then? How you got into the how you got into Riot Games and became what you are right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I actually joined Riot Games in 2013 on January 7th, to be specific, and that's going on 6 years ago now, which is a long time. And the biggest change between then and now is how much the industry has grown. When I joined Riot Games in the esports department, there was maybe 10 or 15 people in the department. Now it's around 150, and every office around the world has an esports team in every single office, from Brazil to Turkey to Russia to China. There's specific teams. So I was very fortunate that when I was looking to get into Riot Games and into shoutcasting specifically, because the team was smaller, because the industry was small, because the LCS didn't exist yet, I was hired to join the LCS. That was one of the big reasons why I actually got a job in the first place. It was a lot easier. To be honest with you, the difference between being an amateur content creator, somebody who did something from my bedroom or my spare time, and the professional league was maybe 2 tiers. You know, there was at-home casting on cups like Go for LOL, which is what I did on ESL all the time. Then there was like a tier up that kind of was 4PL or monthly online cups. There'd be 1,000 euros or 5,000 euros up for grabs. And then there'd be events like DreamHack and Gamescom. That was it. That was the professional tier. Nowadays, you've got to go through online cups to ERL qualifiers, to ERLs. Last year it was Challenger. Now it's looking at EU Masters.
A lot more stages.
There's so many more stages. There's so many more tiers. There's so many more events, professional broadcast, professional teams. On one hand, that's really exciting because it means there's so many more opportunities for people. But on the other hand, there's so much more competition now. So it's actually a lot more difficult to get recognized and to gain traction and to develop this brand, because when I was starting, there was 5 or 6 names I had to compete with as a shoutcaster. Now there's 20 or 30, and that's just in shoutcasting as an example.
Okay. Wait, so you've mentioned shoutcasting itself. I've heard these terminologies before: shoutcasting, color casting. Just a quick recap, what's the difference there? How do we differentiate?
Well, the first things first, a shoutcaster is the esports term just for commentator. Okay. And it actually comes from a very long time ago, probably before you were even in school. There used to be a plugin for VLC, and it was actually called the Shoutcast plugin, and it was specifically designed for people who wanted to commentate online back in the day when bandwidth wasn't good enough for video. So it was audio-only broadcasting, and they said, well, it's shoutcasting was the time. And the people that did that, this is in early 2000s, then became known as shoutcasters, but effectively it's just a commentator. And then as the industry has grown and developed over the last sort of 20, 25 years of video game commentary, we've borrowed some terminology from traditional sports. So the play-by-play is fairly simple. It's the person who does most of the action calls when there's a team fight, when there's a gank, when there's skirmishes. The person who's providing the energy, the excitement, the passion is the play-by-play guy. Generally speaking, there's an analytical person next to him. Generally, almost always is smarter at the game, generally better at the game, more researched about the game, and they're providing the color or the analysis or the explanation about why something was good or bad.
Okay.
And then in tandem, we work together. A few years ago, back in 2012, 2 play-by-plays was the standard. D-Man and Joe Miller, they would regularly cast together. We tried TriCast back in the day, it was 2 play-by-plays and 1 color caster. And that has eventually evolved into now what we consider standard, which is the 2 analytical guys, the 2 color casters, and play-by-play.
Oh, I see. So Shoutcaster is the thing that covers it all?
Yes.
And then you have the play-by-play, you have the color
Exactly. And then technically you have analysts as well. There are some people like Crumbs when he was still on the EU LCS, or George, who most recently joined us, the former coach for Team Liquid. They will most likely not be commentators in-game or shoutcasters, and they might just be on the analyst desk exclusively.
Okay. So you are primarily a play-by-play caster?
That's correct, yes.
Right.
Because I'm not very smart at the game, so.
Yes. So I was thinking, for someone who is an aspiring caster, play-by-play, color caster, whatever, what's his best chance to get into, well, let's say EU LCS? What would you do if you were a new caster?
So I actually get asked this a lot, and the truth is, the only way to become a shoutcaster is to shoutcast.
All right.
This is a performing art. Yes, there is elements of skills that you can study. There's some people who are studying journalism or broadcast degrees, for example, and you can learn skills from there. There are professional singers where skills could come in handy. But at the end of the day, you are providing an entertainment-based product around a video game that is based in some sort of information and knowledge. In order to combine all of these things, there is no course that you can take. There is no degree that you can study. How do you become likable? How do you become entertaining? How do you become an on-camera personality? Well, you have to do it. You have to bust open that webcam. You have to find some VODs. You have to record them, watch them back, look at your voice, your tone, your style, and think about how you want to implement your brand, your knowledge, your personality, and all of these things at the same time.
Right.
The truth is, there is no magic bullet and there's no magic course that you can take. And just like every other sort of actor or singer, the only way to get good is to keep doing it, iterations, practice, training, and then get your name out there. Get on social media, try to get on Reddit, get feedback from people. Find out what they like, what they don't like. Make sure you write that down and be very deliberate with how you plan to sort of break into the market. After you've actually developed some sort of personal brand and a skill set, then you just have to start looking for shows and looking for gigs. EU LCS is very difficult to break into. You're competing with people like Deficio or Vedius, who've been around for a few years if you want to be a color caster. So my recommendation would definitely be to look slightly smaller. Look at some of the ERLs, for example. Look for your local language streams in your local area, local LAN parties, local university competitions. We found Ender through collegiate commentary.
Oh, okay.
So he was doing stuff for his university in America. That's what got him noticed and got him recognized by the LAX team. They brought him on board, and then because of his collegiate commentary, I went, there's potential here. So that's definitely how you would get noticed. Aim high, but work your way up.
True.
Very few people get to land on the moon at the very first shot. You have to fire a couple of rockets, develop the tech, develop the skill set.
Right, so it's true what people say, right? You need to create something, you need to master a skill, master that craft, and you get noticed. I assume they need to apply with you. I mean, it's not 100%. Like you scout people.
We do. I mean, look, the truth is, if you want to make it onto the EU LCS radar, get your shoutcasting to be the #1 thread on the subreddit.
Yes.
That's simple.
Sounds like Captain Flowers.
Exactly like Captain Flowers. I'd like to claim that I interviewed Captain Flowers first and NA stole him from me. But yes, you know, like if you pull a Captain Flowers, and 6 years ago, I was Captain Flowers. 6 years ago, I was wearing Star Wars t-shirts and I was the first shoutcaster to use spell names in my commentary. And that got me a Reddit thread. That Reddit thread got me noticed by D-Man. And when D-Man couldn't do a show because he had too many bookings, he said, well, there's this guy on Reddit that apparently is pretty good and I've seen his stream. So I got a recommendation from D-Man 6.5, 7 years ago because I made it to Reddit. And the only way to make it to Reddit is to have a unique skill set or a unique voice or a unique angle or something different, something to make you stand out, something to break through everybody else that wants to be a shoutcaster as well. And then, yeah, once you get noticed, then it gets a lot easier. But it's getting noticed that's the difficult part.
Right. It seems like Reddit has sort of become a, let's call it a distribution channel or a marketing channel, right?
Yeah.
For all sorts of talents. But it's also good to know that there is something for the regular guy who's, you know, sitting at home doing his thing, right? He has the chance, just like everyone else, to make it big if he has the skills for it. So with franchising coming up, personally, that's also one of the reasons why I believed it was time for me to get out there and create some content, right? Getting out there, talking to some people, because with the franchising system, there comes a lot of money, but also comes a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
What do you think for the regular Joe, like someone like me who just wants to get into the industry? Where are the interesting things to look at?
Well, I can say right now you're not the regular Joe.
Okay.
Because the regular Joe would just be excited about the new names, right?
Okay.
I think a lot of people in Europe are hoping, myself included, that sort of football organizations or traditional sports organizations are going to be looking at the LCS. You know, that's one of the hopes. So when you look at people who want to go from being a regular Joe to being involved in the industry, one of the exciting things is the additional opportunities that are created by a stable ecosystem. To go from regular Joe to somebody who wants to break into the industry, there's more opportunities. And one of the exciting things for me is the safety of opportunities that's provided when you have a stable ecosystem. What I mean by that, if you look at 2017, and let's say you want to be a content creator and you want to do video interviews and you want to join the LCS. Well, if you look to break in through a team or through a website, there's no guarantee that the teams and the players and the people that you're speaking to are going to be there for even more than 3 months. You know, they could get relegated between spring and summer. They could get relegated after summer, which means there's 6 months for them to try to figure out what to do before Challenger comes back into effect. And this volatility created uncertainty. And then uncertainty means the likelihood of making a risky bet is much, much, much lower. Now we look to 2019 and long-term partnerships. There's going to be teams that will be committed to multi-year deals, that we know the brand will have multiple years of exposure. Players are already signing multi-year contracts. Reckless and Hans Sommer are two that made some pretty public statements about 3-year deals with Fnatic and Misfits respectively. So what that means is stability and security so that other people, other content creators, other investors can see a much higher likelihood for a return on their investment.
Right.
Which means if they want to hire somebody like yourself to do a content series, instead of signing only you for 3 months because your team or your backing or your sponsor may only last that long, they may now have multiple years. So you can plan better, you can produce better, and that extra safety just allows people to make more informed decisions. And then that's where you're going to have all these additional opportunities and all these additional ability to bargain for what you really want, which is very exciting.
Sounds good. So basically, the stability, you know, with the benefits that it brings, that is the core point of the franchising system that we are about to expect. Very cool. Quickshot, before we wrap everything up, I have prepared something special for today.
Okay, I'm nervous.
All right. So knowing you, you know, being a professional caster and all, I decided to challenge you to a duel of casting.
Okay.
So I have prepared a short video clip of a team fight, and it's a recent, I believe it was a recent game from the last split, but I'm gonna run through once, and then afterwards you can go through it, and we'll see who did a better job.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so just heads up, I've never casted before in my life. I have no idea what I'm about to expect. Like, I've been trying to practice at home, but I didn't want to scare the neighbors. I tried to go up with my voice, but we'll see how it goes.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah, don't laugh at me, man.
I will not. I will not.
Alright, we see Fnatic versus G2. Zach jumping in, Jankos, but not making his engage, failing his engage, now getting killed by the team Fnatic. Now the glacial person will connect. Cho'Gath is being hit and he will not be able to TP onto Zach, or he's gonna try, but Zach is still dying. Jankos dying right now. Fnatic in the security office team, flashing forward, killing the Rise, now being down one player, being down two players. G2 retreating through the jungle. Fnatic going for more. Reckless jumping in, want to do proc his bomb, and the bomb will explode. And the Cho'Gath is gonna die. Wonder is dead. Now Hyanin trying to get his Penta himself with his 6-item Jinx, but he will fall as Tamkich falls, and Reckless is going falls with the Quadra and the pentakill for Reckless on Fnatic. Fnatic taking the game with this incredible play. Now what a hero play by Reckless, just carrying the whole team on his shoulders, moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we win 42 minutes. Are you not entertained? Fnatic will take the game 1 in this series.
That was awesome. That was
Thanks.
cool. That was really cool.
Oh, that was the first time I did that from the top of my lungs.
I can feel the passion.
Thank
I can
you.
feel the
Thank
passion.
you.
I can feel the energy.
I'm probably a little rough around the edges, but I'm getting there.
I get the feeling you don't play the game in English.
I actually do. I do. But
spell names, dude. You've got to work on your spell names.
yeah, I know.
I'm telling you.
I only play Draven. That's
well,
the
there you go.
problem.
So I do remember the fight at the end.
Yes, I
But
believe
from the
you do.
beginning, I did not.
Okay. Man, I practiced this, and I thought I would do a better job, but apparently I didn't prepare.
You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. All right, so I've got to do the same
So
clip
you're
now.
gonna do the same thing. We'll let the viewers decide, or whoever decide who is better.
We'll have to
right?
put it to a vote, either in comments or Twitter or something. You'll have to figure it out.
Yes, we'll do that.
So you've got a minute to think about that.
Yes.
I'm going to give this a bash. Now, I haven't done any vocal warm-up, so wish me luck. All right, as we jump into the fight, Jankos goes in with a stretching strike. He finds one, manages to pull back Caps, but there's just not enough damage. Goes unstoppable, goes for the let's bounce, and that's a pop. Cell division is cranked. Jankos is the first target as Reckless remains untouched in the fight. A cheeky teleport comes up from Wonder to try and save Jankos, but the Bloblets are blown up, they're obliterated, and they're being bashed in the head. Reckless continues to fire away with the rapid fire, manages to get the satchel charge, a rocket jump forward, the explosion gives the triple kill, looking for the Quadra. Hyanin's gonna back away, staying alive. Wydid's got Devour available. Reckless needs a few more shots, manages to take down Hyanin. He's inside the belly of the beast, but the explosion, boom, 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 pentakill. Reckless takes it out. That's game 1 of your spring split finals.
Man, awesome, man. Without any pre-warming or anything.
I know. You know, just gonna try and get
Just
that
shaking it out
system.
spontaneously,
That's it.
man. Just
So
like,
who do you think? I think you had more passion. I think I was clearer, but I think you had more passion. You had more energy. Well, I think it was awesome, and there's some potential. You know, you've got that passion.
All right.
Just clean up the delivery.
Thank you so much for watching, Tell me if you liked the video, if you want to see more of that stuff, because honestly, I'm about to go into my bachelor's thesis, and I have no idea if I will be able to keep...
Hit that thumbs up and let him know. Future interview, I'm telling you.
Greetings! I just finished editing the video, and first of all, if you are interested in watching the rest of the video where I cover more topics such as the rotating on-air talent situation and franchising in 2019, the EU LCS, and more, click here. Now, if you could do me a favor, I would love to hear constructive feedback from you guys. Also, you can just scroll down and type nice so I know people actually like what I'm doing, because to be honest, I struggle with my motivation from time to time. If you want to see more of Quickshot's content, make sure to subscribe and look up his social media pages below, and turn into the EU LCS this weekend to hear this beast of a man cast his lungs out.